Hello YouTube, welcome back to Kicking It with Chico. February 16th, Daytona 500 today. If you're a sports fan, you'll notice that on this channel. I reference a lot of sports. Just out for a cruise out at Hazlitt Lake, man. It's beautiful. I had some snowfall last night. Not too many people out and about. Just even the more reason to get out and go for a ride and maybe see some nature and some wildlife. What I wanted to talk today about is relationships and struggling with the end of a relationship. Regardless of what age you are, you know, that first heartbreak when you're a teenager or maybe in your 20s after you and your high school sweetheart split up or going through a divorce or whatever it may be, relationships can be tough, especially the end of a relationship. And in corrections, unfortunately, we have a very high rate of divorces that happen in corrections. The longer you're in it, the more you understand. It might not be you, and I hope it's not you, but if it's not you, if you work in corrections, it's going to happen to somebody that you work with, I promise. So, growing up, I was raised by a single mother. Thank God she's still with me. She is the most incredible woman in the world. Her and my father were divorced when I was just a year old. He had come back from Vietnam, was a totally different type of person. I always asked my mom, you know, as a kid, 6, 7, 8, 9, you know, why aren't you with my dad, da-da-da. Had a stepdad that was a pretty toxic relationship from my mom that I witnessed. Had a guy after my stepdad that was there for, man, many years, like 20 years. In another toxic situation, was treated like ass, didn't really understand what a healthy relationship looked like, and it wasn't my mom's fault. My mom was doing what she could. She's the most amazing woman on this earth, I promise you. I wouldn't be the person I am today without her, and a lot of people say, well, you're a piece of shit. Well, that's your opinion. I'm a pretty damn good person. I've grown into a good father. But back to the relationship. Now, my mom's been in a relationship for a couple decades now. The most wonderful relationship she could ever find, treats her well. It's not a toxic situation. I love him to death. He's a great person. I guess what I'm getting at, though, is my struggles with the ending of relationships was something that was like put on blast for me. It was a bitch. I couldn't deal with it at a younger age. I couldn't grasp it. I would bug up. I never really drank until I was 20 years old. Didn't do the whole high school drinking thing very often because I had a girlfriend. Well, when that girlfriend and I split up, I went on a rampage. I was drinking, I was partying, I was doing whatever it took just to stay busy, to act crazy. If I didn't go out, I felt like I was missing something. It was a crazy lifestyle, a lot of experiences, but it was just something I couldn't deal with. Well, then move on through a couple relationships, a couple divorces, which I won't get into too deep. Same thing. Didn't know how to handle the situation. I would react. I would go drink, chase women, do whatever I could to stay occupied, to move on. And hurting inside, boo-hooing and thinking, well, why doesn't she want me anymore? Why can't we stay together? Why can't we make this work? And then finally, what I realized, and it took me a long time, basically when I was 45 years old, which has been 10 years ago, my wife walked out the door with my 2 little ones. We basically had agreed to split earlier in the year, but it just had come to a head and it was time for her to move out and go on. I had my 2 little ones with her, and when that door closed, I felt that sudden urge to, hey, let's go drown our sorrows. Let's go have a pity party. Let's go chase some tail. Get that quick fix and move on from this situation the only way we know how. And at that moment, I don't know what it was. Maybe finally maturity setting in with my dumb ass. I looked at myself in the mirror and said, no, this hasn't worked, dude. You've been through a couple divorces, 4 or 5 pretty long-term relationships. You're 45, no more. You got to figure this out. So what I did I went on a computer and Googled ending relationships, heartbreak, things like that. And that's kind of what got me started down the path of mindfulness and awareness, kind of being aware of my thoughts. And that's kind of what it ties into. And a lot of you can walk from relationship to relationship. It doesn't faze you. It doesn't bother you. You don't have those bug up moments like some of us do, where you feel like you can't move on without the person. So you try to medicate with alcohol, drugs, other people, whatever it may be. And wonderful, that's great for you. But there are a lot of people that just struggle with the end of a relationship. And I was one of them for many, many years. So what I can tell you is, and I wish I would learn this back in my teenage years or in my 20s or hell, even in my 30s, is that when you accept it, when you finally say, you know what, this is done, this is over with, acceptance takes away a lot of the pain and indecisiveness. But if you keep resisting, resistance creates a lot of pain. This is going to work out. I can make her do this. We can get back together. If I act like this, if I change. You know in your gut, intuitively, when it's over, it's over. Okay? But when you finally accept it, you'll feel this spaciousness. It's kind of odd, but you'll feel this spaciousness inside that says, and you feel it. You feel a little bit of peace. It's time to move on. Enough of the toxicity, especially if you're in a toxic relationship. There is no reason for that. There is no excuse for that. The calls, the emails, the arguments, the texts, just stop, man. You got to realize there are billions and billions of people on this planet. And when one door shuts, another one opens up. But when you quit resisting and you accept the fact that it's time to move on, you can create this space inside of you of acceptance that says, okay, I can handle this. And you can. You can handle it in a lot of different ways. Okay, I wouldn't suggest going out and medicating with alcohol or going out and finding a quick short-term relationship just to pacify some needs. That is an opportunity for growth, an opportunity to look with inside yourself. And another thing I like to point out is I made the mistake going to the gym. I thought that was my fix. Man, I was hitting the gym 2-3 times a day. I got back into kickboxing. I started getting into MMA, started getting into the cage, training 3 or 4 times a day, taking time away from my kids, taking time away from a lot of other important things in my life, my family, which was my kids, my mom, my stepdad, my friends, things like that. Not only, that helps you, don't get me wrong, that can help you in a myriad of ways, but you also have to grow not just physically, you have to grow emotionally and spiritually. And part of that is spending time alone, putting down the phone, understand what's going on through your mind. Do a deep dive on meditation. Get on YouTube, type in 10-minute guided meditation, get you some earbuds, get you somewhere nobody's going to bother you, and just spend some time by yourself. Get to know yourself. All that love and attention that you think you need from the other person, you got that all within you. I promise you. I didn't understand it until I found it. It was already within me. But truly loving somebody, you got to love yourself first. So going through relationship difficulties, understand if it's over, it's over. It's time to move on. Let go of the resistance. Quit resisting and accept it. And you'll find that little bit of peace. Okay. And tomorrow's, I'm going to do a quick one, little follow-up on this one, on the end of a relationship, if you have children involved, and co-parenting, which is probably one of the top things that needs to be hit on in this type of situation. Because it's not just about you or the other person or that relationship. As a matter of fact, that's kind of a selfish way to look at it, especially initially. You've got to concern yourself the well-being of the kids and that transition from them going to your house, going to her house, vice versa, things like that, making that as smooth as possible. It's about taking care of the kids. So I hope you all have a good day. This was a long video. I hope I shared some knowledge with you today. Again, I've been there. If you're struggling right now with a relationship, at the end of a relationship, I promise you there's light on the other side. But you got to accept it and make that decision. Once you finalize and make that decision, okay, you know what? It's time to move on. All right, Chico out. Have a good day, y'all. Love you. Bye.